Manipuri Mana!
All right, and that was live from Imphal. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated multiple development projects worth over 1,200 crore rupees, marking a significant boost to Manipur's infrastructure and growth. While addressing the gathering, PM Modi extended his best wishes to the people of Manipur, emphasizing that the state is progressing at a rapid pace. He highlighted the accelerating development, particularly in road connectivity and highway construction, which continues on an upward trajectory. The Prime Minister also noted that Manipur is witnessing new opportunities emerging across various sectors, including science and technology, reflecting the state's evolving potential and growing contribution to India's development story. Importantly, he commended the vital role of women in driving this progress, stating that women are at the forefront of the state's development journey. Prime Minister Modi announced that the government has reduced GST rates, which will make everyday household items more affordable. He said this step will not only ease the cost of living for people, but also give a significant boost to tourism in the region. He further stressed that together everyone must work to lead Manipur on the path of peace and progress, and also congratulated the first woman PM of Nepal, Sushila Karki. He said, in India's path towards a Viksit Bharat, development of Manipur is also important. This is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said while addressing the gathering in Imphal in Manipur, where he inaugurated multiple development projects worth over rupees 1,200 crore, marking a significant boost to Manipur's infrastructure and growth. He emphasized on women empowerment. Addressing the gathering, PM Modi also extended his best wishes to the people of Manipur, emphasizing that the state is progressing at a rapid pace. He highlighted the accelerating development and particularly in road connectivity and highway construction, which continues on an upward trajectory. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also congratulated the first woman Prime Minister of Nepal, Sushila Karki, and also noted that Manipur is witnessing new opportunities emerging across various sectors, including science and technology, reflecting the state's evolving potential and growing contribution to India's development story. And senior journalist KG Suresh joins us on the broadcast. Sir, a very warm welcome to the broadcast. You know, we heard what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said today. Just a while back, he was addressing the gathering in Imphal. He promised everyone there when it comes to the development of Manipur. He said that the state is progressing with a rapid pace. What's your assessment of what Prime Minister said while addressing the gathering in Imphal?
Absolutely. You see, right from the word go, in fact, from the moment he took over as the Prime Minister, Northeast has always been a priority for him.
Yeah.
In fact, from our Look East policy, he transformed it into Act East policy.
Yeah.
And, in a way, it has become a gateway to our trade with even Southeast Asia. So, the entire Northeast has developed in an unprecedented manner. Perhaps, no other Prime Minister in all the years since independence has visited that many times as much as the Prime Minister has visited the Northeast. In fact, each state in the last 11 years. The Northeast, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of peace, in terms of brokering negotiations with the insurgent groups, the NDA government had taken unprecedented steps, and virtually, yes, Manipur was a boiling point, and I think today's visit was a kind of a healing touch provided by the Prime Minister. And as somebody who believes in walking the talk, I think the Prime Minister came with a lot of projects for Manipur, and he not only interacted with only the people in the valley, but also he went to Churachandpur. He had interactions with people from the Kuki-Zo community.
And sir, there were some emotional moments. Sir, there were some emotional moments as well. while Prime Minister Narendra Modi was
Absolutely.
interacting
Absolutely.
with
You
the
see,
youth.
he is a father figure,
Yeah.
and somebody, and people felt that this, with him, we can bare our hearts, we can share our concerns with him.
Yeah.
And he is somebody who would listen to us and he will do something. You see, you should read the statement which the Cookie Zoo community came out with. They said that, everybody should cooperate because the Prime Minister is coming. We want an opportunity to talk to him. We want to listen to him. We want to know what is it in his mind. The same is true for Meitei community also. So I think that everybody is hopeful that with his personal presence, his intervention, things are going to, improve. And certainly, you see, economy is a great leveler. When there is economic progress, then I think a lot of differences also. This differences often is caused by lack of development, and the Prime Minister understands that like anything. So you see, today he connected for the first time. You had Azol now coming on the India's railway map,
which is a big thing, because India's railway system, India's railway network is the heart of is at the heart of Indian transport.
And whether it is Manipur, whether it is Mizoram, whether it is Arunachal Pradesh, whether it is Sikkim, they all got their airports for the first time.
Yeah.
So Northeast, whether in terms of road, in terms of airlines, in terms of rail connectivity, in terms of roads, I have been to Azol as a former Director General of Indian Institute of Mass Communication.
Okay.
We have a campus there, which was also inaugurated by the Honorable President. And the Prime Minister, the Azol was such a congested place. And today, that bypass has been, he has laid the foundation stone. And this bypass is going to be immensely helpful in easing the congestion in Azol, So, I mean, there is so much of focus that once, it was so difficult to, I have traveled it before this government also came to power. And I have seen the very pitiable, condition of roads in Arunachal Pradesh and in Northeast. And today you have 8-lane highways, 6-lane highways, and the entire scenario has changed. And certainly, please, when you have roads, railways, when you have all these infrastructural projects,
definitely.
it opens up opportunity for the Northeastern
Indeed.
youth.
Yeah, correct. And also goes on to show, sir, that how committed Prime Minister Narendra Modi is when it comes to the development of the Northeastern region.
He is very passionate about it. In fact, from his Red Fort address, or whether it is his, Man Ki Baat, he keeps exhorting the people from the rest of the country to visit Northeast. He says that, if you are using LTC, you use your LTC. He has exhorted government servants to visit the Northeast, and to buy products from there. He himself wears, Northeastern attire, and, he promotes it himself, and he has encouraged people to promote it, to visit that place. And that, also bridges the emotional, gap between the Northeast and the, rest of the country.
Definitely.
So this is also important.
Indeed. I'll come back to you, sir, in a moment. But right now, we've been also joined by our correspondent, Nando Singh, who is joining us from Imphal on phone line. Nando, take us through the development projects which Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated today and laid the foundation stone of.
Yes, the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, he has laid the foundation stone for the projects over rupees 7,300 crore, and the projects, and he has inaugurated projects worth over rupees 1,200 crore. And this, I think, this means a lot for the people of Manipur, and I think it indicates that Prime Minister's, continued commitment and the dedication for the development of the state of Manipur, which has been devastating for the last 2 years, according to the ethnic clashes. And I think the people of Manipur know, and I think that this is a very big step taken by the minister, Prime Minister, and we must welcome this step. And I think that this is this kind of thing which has given to the people of Manipur, this will be remembered by, I think, the people of Manipur for the days to come. And but apart from the,
Okay, Nandu.
apart from the project inauguration, he has talked about IDPs, and he has interacted with IDPs, I mean that internally displaced persons who are in the relief camps, and he has personally met those people, and that is a very nice gesture, I think, from the Honorable Prime Minister of Manipur.
Definitely, and we saw those visuals also, Nando. Yeah, definitely,
Yes,
we saw those visuals, Nando, and some emotional moments were there.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
hold on. Okay, we'll get back to you, Nando, but we have with us our guest, KG Suresh. He's a senior journalist. Sir, we talked about the various development projects which Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated today, development projects in the northeastern region, particularly in Mizoram and Manipur. So, ranging from railways to highways and other sectors, what's your assessment, when it comes to region's path of development?
Yes, absolutely. You see, please remember one thing. Once the infrastructure is in place, it opens up avenues for jobs, for startups. Today, Northeast has so many startups which was unthinkable.
Right.
And today the youngsters get so many opportunities. You see, the moment you bring about a railway station, what happens is the people get to travel from that place in a much more, it was so difficult. I remember going to Azol till recently, I had to first go to Kolkata, and from Kolkata I had to take another flight too. So for the people of Northeast who are now working across India, you can find them particularly in the hospitality sector. A lot of our girls from Northeast, a lot of our boys from Northeast are working all over the country, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. For them, traveling should not become a big, problem. Now this, what happens is that once the trains are in place, it is a cheaper mode of transport compared to airline.
Yes.
Though under the Udan scheme, the Prime Minister has, always wanted that people from even wearing Hawai chappals to travel by Hawai Jahaz. That is his concept,
Yeah.
But even train facility, and then when train is there, then the freight, the goods, are able to send fruits and vegetables and so much of horticultural products of the Northeast to the rest of the country. Travel has become so easier. It promotes tourism like anything. You have people today, even in India, rest of the country also, a lot of people from middle class families also want to, but air travel sometimes becomes a little expensive.
I get
But train, that would promote tourism like anything. Today they would be able, now you have a direct Rajdhani between Azol and Delhi. Similarly between Azol and Kolkata. And then look at the Manipur Bhavans that have been inaugurated, both in Delhi and in, your Kolkata. So you have patients traveling there, and they are unable to afford the kind of expenses in lodging and accommodation. Now for them, you have these hostels. Then you have working women's hostel. A large number of women in Northeast, work. You have a matriarchal society in many parts of Northeast. So women are a very strong workforce there. So for them, these facilities have been, so it's a 360-degree view of development, where you are not just looking at infrastructure, but also in terms of other facilities. I mean, for example, the EMA market for women in Manipur, if you go to Manipur, Imphal, you have that women's market. Now these women's market are being set up in different districts, and the government is, setting up these markets. So that would encourage a lot of women to, it would contribute to generating employment.
Definitely.
That is important. Then in terms of education, more and more facilities are being opened up. So that means skill development is being taken care of. Sports, there's a national sports university there. And Northeast has a lot of potential when it comes to sports, and they have immensely contributed to, from Mary Com to, you name it. You have so many sports persons who
Definitely.
have brought laurels for the country, won Olympic medals.
They are
And
pride of our
I think
nation, sir, definitely. Uh,
absolutely. So,
let's just talk about railways a bit more. You just talked about how the railway network has flourished when it comes to northeast region, and also when it comes to the connectivity from Aizawl, Delhi, ease of comfort, ease of traveling for the people in the northeastern region. I want to ask you that now that Mizoram is connected to the entire India, it's a big thing for the people of northeast, through this railway network. How significant it is according to you, number one, and how much will it add to the Indian economy, which is soon, which is set to become the third largest in the world?
absolutely. You see, no doubt that, once you have the roadways and the railways in place, industrialization is another collateral development. So people today, if you have access, people would like to set up industries in places where you have road connectivity, you have rail connectivity, you have to send your produce to different parts of the country. Agricultural produce, horticultural produce, sericulture, I mean, you name it. Today, Northeast, from tea gardens to, you have a lot of potential in the Northeast. But they have remained untapped because you did not have the infrastructure. Things would get, ruined within a couple of days, the agriculture, the crops, and unless they are immediately sorted out and sent out. So now, thanks to these railway projects, today they are able to send goods to across the country within a short notice, and it is affordable, and earlier, even reaching by road was such a huge problem.
Indeed.
And we always, and that was one reason I have no hesitation in saying that, for this alienation. This alienation between the Northeast and the rest of the country, one of the reasons was that there was hardly any connectivity. I mean, going to Northeast was certainly not an option for the people in the North going to South, and for the people in the South going to North. These were the limited options within the country. But thanks to increased connectivity,
Indeed.
today, Northeast is an option, and Northeast is so beautiful. In terms of its heritage, its culture, its monuments, its natural landscapes, everybody would love to go there. And, and their culture, vibrant culture, then music festivals, from Hornbill festivals to you name it. The Shillong is the capital of, music. So, every year there are festivals which are happening, and I'm sure that people from all over the country, you have a large youth population which is, which loves music.
Yeah.
And they would love to go to the Northeast to take part
I
in
agree.
these festivals, but that was not possible because of lack of infrastructural, support. But thanks to increasing over the last 11 years, and please remember, at the end of the day, one of the reasons why we could not put up a strong resistance to the Chinese aggression in 1962 was that we just did not have the infrastructure to move our troops when the Chinese invaded. So it is important, and today you have infrastructural products going right till the border. The Sikkim airport, for example, is hardly 30 kilometers from the Chinese border. So these are useful even for the military, who can, in terms of any crisis situation, they can move faster to the place and provide defense to the people, our people. And particularly, Northeast is a very sensitive place, because it has international borders with so many countries, So if in the absence of infrastructure, in the absence of, proper education, health, it is but natural that, there could be forces inimical to India who will try to create a narrative of discrimination, a narrative of, alienation that could be brought about. And once you have development, people would say themselves that, we are far well off here. And so the emphasis on peace also. So over the last 11 years, you would see that so many talks and agreements have been signed upon which focuses on bringing about peace in Northeast. Today, when I tell my family that I'm going to Northeast, there is no concern as such about my safety.
Indeed, indeed,
That
I
they feel
understand.
that yes, safety is not an issue. Safety and security is not an issue.
Definitely.
Okay. The same will hold in terms of how difficult it is to reach, but thanks to infrastructure now that is also not an issue. Health, the best of hospitals are there. You have universities like Nehu, and you have a lot of institutions like I said, IIMC is there, and many other IITs have come up. IIT AIMS has been set up in the Northeast. So the people of Northeast don't have to now travel all the way to Delhi or Mumbai or Kolkata, which used to be their preferred destination
Correct.
for either education or health related issues. Thanks to this development in all fields, today they have become self-reliant, and that economically empowers them. So for the basic requirements, they don't have to travel very far. So that is the entire focus, that development reaches the last man. That is the whole focus.
Definitely, the region is witnessing development in every sector, especially push when it comes to road infrastructure. We have witnessed a massive push in that. So how do you assess this development when it comes to road infrastructure in terms of India's vision of self-reliance and also Vikasit Bharat 2047?
Yes, absolutely. You see, as I said, that Northeast is being seen as the gateway to our business with Southeast Asia. When we are looking at Southeast Asia, we are looking at Myanmar, we are looking at Thailand, we are looking at, a lot many countries. And our people in Northeast also share ethnically also commonalities with them, and culturally also there are commonalities which brings us together, which binds them with the Northeast. Now, what happens is that let us utilize this goodwill for building strong bonds with the Southeast Asian countries, you see, and also a corridor where if you have roads leading up to the border, it makes sense that we have more international trade through the land routes. We are not dependent on only the sea route.
Correct.
That you have to go to Kolkata to take your products to other countries. You have road routes, land routes are available. Otherwise, most of Northeast was landlocked. It had no outlet to the sea. And they were all dependent on Kolkata for all their, sea-related, traffic, trade. Now, thanks to, the construction of roads which can drive you up to Myanmar and further, I think that, it opens immense opportunities for the Northeast to, emerge as the, I would say, the hub of trade and commerce in the entire Southeast Asia. You can attract a lot of tourists because, as I said, cultural affinities are there, ethnic affinities are there, and certainly, they can certainly attract a lot of tourists from Southeast Asia. So that way, in terms of trade, in terms of traffic, and then that means that any footfall in India, in any part of the country, is benefiting India only, and we are at 7.2%. We are the fastest growing economy in the world today.
Yeah, correct.
And the Prime Minister is looking at not only Viksit Bharat but also a 5 trillion economy very soon. And that we are, we would be able to reach only if all areas of our country, all regions of our country develop. You cannot afford to have, so that is why, like a father or a parent gives more emphasis to the child who is weak. Northeast has always been a victim of politics, and over the last 11 years, it was seen as a very weak child, in the family.
Correct.
And so the Prime Minister has been giving it booster doses to ensure that it gets a level playing field. The people of Northeast are very enterprising, very hardworking.
Yeah, correct.
And they can, if given an opportunity, they can, compete with anyone in the world. And I think that these kind of facilities, which was their, I would say their weakness, their, disadvantage, that they don't have that facilities. Today, you are getting ready for the future today a lot of, in terms of road, in terms of railway, in terms of air connectivity, in terms of industrialization, in terms of education, in terms of health. You have so many things that have been set up there that, they can, they have the potential to change the entire Northeast.
Correct.
The economy of the Northeast, the social gathering of the Northeast, the
Definitely.
sustainable, development in Northeast.
Yeah. All right, sir. Thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you. And we are heading for a short break. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to DD India.
We lock our doors, put up fences, all to protect our house. But what about the home that we all share? Today's episode is to remind us that preservation extends beyond humans.
We tell our buyers that the coffee they're buying or they're consuming is contributing or is preserving the habitat for these many species of birds and animals.
We are promoting ecotourism only. We call volunteers to walk on the field so that they can learn from the village.
GDSI is a ranking system created by an association to make its location sustainable in terms of tourism and event management.
We use the feces as manure for our crops. That's how integrated farming becomes very profitable.
You're watching DD Indian News, and I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today is on a worldwide tour of Northeast India. PM Modi was in Manipur and laid the foundation stone of multiple development projects worth over rupees 7,300 crore at Churachandpur. The projects include Manipur Urban Roads, Drainage and Asset Management Improvement Project worth over rupees 3,600 crore, 5 national highway projects worth more than rupees 2,500 crore, Manipur Infotech Development Project, working women hostels at 9 locations, among others. PM was felicitated as he arrived on the stage to address the gathering. Addressing the gathering, PM Modi said that with the efforts of central government, peace prevails in Northeast. PM Modi has assured support to the people of Manipur.
इस स्थान पर विकास के लिए शांति की स्थापना बहुत जरूरी है। बीते 11 वर्षों में नॉर्थ ईस्ट में दशकों से चल रहे अनेक विवाद, अनेक संघर्ष समाप्त हुए हैं। लोगों ने शांति का रास्ता चुना है, विकास को प्राथमिकता दी है। मुझे संतोष है कि हाल ही में हिल्स और वैली में अलग अलग ग्रुप्स के साथ समझौतों के लिए बातचीत की शुरुआत हुई है। ये भारत सरकार के उन प्रयासों का हिस्सा है जिसमें संवाद, सम्मान और आपसी समझ को महत्व देते हुए शांति की स्थापना के लिए काम किया जा रहा है। मैं सभी संगठनों से अपील करूंगा कि शांति के रास्ते पर आगे बढ़कर अपने सपनों को पूरा करें, अपने बच्चों के भविष्य को सुनिश्चित करें। और मैं आज आपको वादा करता हूं, मैं आपके साथ हूं।
Earlier, on arrival in Churachandpur, PM Modi interacted with the local Kuki community and spent time with them. PM was given a warm welcome with people standing on both sides of the road in Churachandpur. Emphasizing that Manipur's culture has always promoted women empowerment, Prime Minister Modi stressed that the government is also actively working to empower women. The Prime Minister affirmed that the government is working with the goal of making Manipur a symbol of peace, prosperity and progress.
मणिपुर का कल्चर नारी शक्ति को बढ़ावा देने वाला रहा है। और हमारी सरकार भी नारी शक्ति को एम्पावर करने में जुटी है। सरकार वर्किंग विमेन हॉस्टल का भी निर्माण कर रही है ताकि मणिपुर की बेटियों की मदद हो सके। साथियों, हम मणिपुर को पीस, प्रॉस्पेरिटी और प्रोग्रेस का प्रतीक बनाने का लक्ष्य लेकर चल रहे हैं। मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं, मणिपुर के विकास के लिए विस्थापितों को जल्द से जल्द उचित स्थान पर बसाने के लिए, शांति की स्थापना के लिए भारत सरकार यहां मणिपुर सरकार का ऐसे ही सहयोग करती रहेगी।
Further, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Imphal and inaugurated multiple development projects worth more than rupees 1,200 crore. They include the Civil Secretariat at Mantri Pukri, IT SEZ building and new police headquarters at Mantri Pukri, Manipur Bhavans at Delhi and Kolkata, and Ima Markets, unique all-women's market in 4 districts. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also interacted with local people there. With an aim to bolster development, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the northeastern state of Mizoram. Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone and inaugurated multiple development projects worth over rupees 9,000 crore at Aizawl. These projects cater to multiple sectors including railways, roadways, energy, sports, among others. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated Mizoram's first railway line and flagged off the state's maiden Rajdhani Express connecting Aizawl with Delhi. A historic day for the nation, particularly for the people of Mizoram. From today, Aizawl will be on India's railway map. Addressing the event, PM Modi underscored the role of Mizoram in India's Act East policy. PM lauded the recently announced GST reforms and said that these changes will make basic and essential amenities like healthcare less expensive.
Recently, next generation GST reforms have been announced. This means lower taxes on many products, making life easier for families. Before 2014, even daily essential like toothpaste, soap and oil were taxed at 27%. Today, only 5% GST is applicable. During Congress rule, medicines, test kits and insurance policies were heavily taxed. That is why healthcare was expensive and insurance was out of reach for ordinary families. But today, all these have become affordable. The new GST rates will also make medicines for serious diseases like cancer more inexpensive.
Taking a jibe at the opposition parties, PM Modi said that for a long time, many parties have practiced vote bank politics, but BJP believes in focusing on those who are most neglected.
For a long time, some political parties in our country practice vote bank politics. Their focus was always on places which had more votes and seats. The entire Northeast including states like Mizoram, suffered greatly because of this attitude. But our approach is very different. Those who were earlier neglected are at the forefront now. Those who were once marginalized are the mainstream now. For the past 11 years, we have been working for the development of the Northeast.
Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav lauded Prime Minister Modi's commitment to Mizoram, calling the inauguration of the Barabie-Sairang railway line in Mizoram historic.
Mizoram capital gets railway connectivity. I congratulate all of you collected here in thousands to this great historic day. The Barabie-Sairang railway line was a very, very challenging project. It includes 45 tunnels and 55 major bridges. This line will now connect Mizoram with Guwahati, Kolkata, and Delhi and many other destinations. The railway connectivity will help the entire country experience this beautiful natural beauty of Mizoram. And we are also starting cargo operations within this week.
On fifth day of Gen Z protest in Nepal, leading to 51 deaths and more than 1,300 injured, Nepal finally dissolved the political crisis after PM KP Sharma Oli was forced to resign and flee from the country. Former Chief Justice Sushila Karki took oath as leader to interim government.
Welcomes its first woman Prime Minister Sushila Karki to lead interim government until a new government is declared after elections which will be held in March next year. As Nepal's current political scenario took dramatic turn after 2 days of Gen Z protest, Sushila Karki finally took oath as country's new Prime Minister. The spotlight also turned to her husband's audacious past, attending the oath-taking ceremony in Sheetal Niwas. Sushila Karki and her spouse Durga Prasad Subedi met in BHU in India during her academy days. He, along with 2 other youth accomplices from Nepali Congress in revolutionary zeal, accomplished one of the Nepal's daring Royal Nepal's plane hijacking acts. The incident is known as Biratnagar plane hijack, which was executed on June 10, 1973, when a Royal Nepal Airline passenger aircraft carrying 19 people, including Bollywood actor Mala Sinha, was hijacked mid-air. The youth revolutionaries forced the pilot to divert the Kathmandu-bound aircraft to Farbazganj in Bihar. They targeted the huge cash being flown by Nepal Rashtra Bank with the aim of seizing the money to fund the Nepali Congress underground campaign to topple the autocratic panchayat system under King Mahendra. There was huge 1990 people's movement across Nepal to eradicate panchayat system and restore multi-party democracy in Himalayan nation. Sushila Karki was an active participant in the 1990 Jan Andolan against the panchayat system and was jailed in Biratnagar. Later, in 2019, she wrote the novel Kara based on this experience. Shweta Singh for DD India, Kathmandu.
On fifth day of Gen Z protest in Nepal, Nepal finally dissolved the political crisis after PM KP Sharma Oli was forced to resign and flee from the country. The former Chief Justice of Nepal, Sushila Karki, took oath as Prime Minister of the interim government in Nepal. After intensive discussions from the last 3 days and formal dialogue at the President's office, Sheetal Niwas, since Friday morning, it was decided to appoint former Chief Justice Sushila Karki as the head of an interim government. Sushila Karki becomes the first woman Prime Minister of Nepal. She is the first woman Chief Justice of Nepal who was widely praised for her integrity. President Ramchandra Paudel has dissolved the House of Representatives, the lower house of the Federal Parliament, upon the recommendation of Prime Minister Sushila Karki. According to a press release issued by the Office of the President, date for the next election to the House of Representatives is fixed for March 5th, 2026. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended best wishes to Nepal's new interim PM. Posting on his official account on X, PM wrote, and I quote, "I extend my best wishes to Right Honourable Mrs. Sushila Karki on assuming office as the Prime Minister of the interim government of Nepal. India remains firmly committed to the peace, progress and prosperity of the people of Nepal." In a pivotal response to Nepal's escalating political crisis, India welcomed the formation of a new interim government on Friday. India's statement emphasizes continued collaboration as close neighbors and fellow democracies to foster well-being and prosperity for both nations' peoples. Karki, backed by youth activists for her anti-corruption stance, is tasked with dissolving parliament and organizing elections by March 2026, marking a potential turning point in Nepal's turbulent journey toward reform. At the invitation of the government of Papua New Guinea, Union Minister of State for External Affairs Pabitra Margarita will pay a visit to Papua New Guinea on September 16. The minister will take part in commemorative events marking Papua New Guinea's 50th anniversary of independence on behalf of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. During the visit, MOS External Affairs is expected to hold bilateral meetings with the political leadership of Papua New Guinea. He will be interacting with Indian diaspora and the business community. The visit of MOS External Affairs to Papua New Guinea would provide an opportunity to continue India's engagement with the leadership in the Pacific Island countries. In May 2023, Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired the historic third summit of the Forum for India-Pacific Islands Cooperation in Port Moresby. You're watching DD India News. Our time now for Sport, and Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Mansukh Mandavia has announced the second edition of Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2026 in Delhi today. The first edition in 2025 saw record participation of 30 lakh youth, and the 2026 edition promises wider outreach and bigger goals. DD India correspondent Narayan Singh reports.
Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Mansukh Mandavia announced the second edition of Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue in Delhi on Saturday. The grand finale will be held in New Delhi from January 10 to 12 in 2026 with 3,000 young participants. Union Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia called Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue a true example of youth-led democracy, turning vision into voice and voice into impact. He said it is the only platform where young Indians can directly present their ideas to Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
प्रधानमंत्री जी देश के युवाओं को विकसित भारत का साथी बनाना चाहते हैं, विकसित भारत का सहयोगी बनाना चाहते हैं, विकसित भारत का निर्माता बनाना चाहते हैं। ऐसे 3000 युवा प्रतिवर्ष अपना विचार प्रधानमंत्री जी के सामने रखने का उसको अवसर मिले, इसलिए विकसित भारत यंग लीडर डायलॉग का आयोजन करा गया है।
The event is inspired by Prime Minister's Independence Day call to involve 1 lakh youth in politics without political background. It replaces the 25-year-old format of the National Youth Festival with its first edition held in 2025. The second edition aims for higher registrations, more tracks, wider reach and ambitious goals. At a press conference at Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium, Dr. Mandavia, along with the senior officials of Youth Affairs Ministry, urged all young Indians to join this mega initiative.
देश के हर युवाओं को मैं आग्रह करता हूं कि आप माय भारत प्लेटफॉर्म पर, माय गव प्लेटफॉर्म पर आइए, क्विज कंपटीशन में पार्टिसिपेशन करिए और आपका विचार विकसित भारत के लिए आपका सुझाव प्रधानमंत्री जी के सामने रखने का अवसर प्राप्त करें। इस उद्देश्य के लिए विकसित भारत यंग लीडर डायलॉग का आयोजन करा है।
The first edition in 2025 saw participation from 30 lakh youth across India. Over 2 lakh essays were submitted and 90,000 youth took part in the state championships. The finale at Bharat Mandapam hosted 3,000 changemakers from Viksit Bharat Challenge, Cultural Track and Path Breaker categories. Prime Minister Modi spent nearly 6 hours interacting with the youth, listening to their ideas and inspiring them to take the leadership roles for a Viksit Bharat. The second edition of the Viksit Bharat Youth Leaders Dialogue reaffirms government's commitment to youth empowerment, offering a national platform for young voices to shape roadmap of a developed India. Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2026 is not just a dialogue but a movement, giving India's youth the chance to turn vision into action and lead the nation its journey to becoming a Viksit Bharat. With camera person Vishwabandhu, Narayan Singh, DD India, Delhi.
India's top men's doubles pair of Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty entered the final of the Hong Kong Open on Saturday. India's top-seeded pair, Satvik and Chirag, ended a long wait for a title shot this year, storming into the final with a straight game win. The duo defeated Chinese Taipei's Bing Wei Lin and Cheng Cheng Quan 21-17, 21-15 to make their first final of the season after 6 semi-final heartbreaks. The Indian pair will face China's Liang Wei Kang and Wang Chang, who emerged winners in their semi-final clash. Olympian Isha Singh ended India's medal drought at the ISSF World Cup, clinching gold in the women's 10-meter air pistol in Ningbo on Saturday. Isha Singh edged out home favourite Yao Kyangjun by 0.1 point in tense final. Reigning Olympic champion Oh Ye-jin of South Korea took the bronze. This was Isha's maiden World Cup gold in the event, and it helped India move to the 5th spot in the medal standings. Hosts China lead the standings with 2 gold, 4 silver and 1 bronze. England shattered record books during the second T20I against South Africa at the Emirates Old Trafford in Manchester on Saturday. The Harry Brook-led side became the 3rd team in the world to cross the 300-run mark in the T20Is and the first against a full member nation to achieve the feat. Being 0-1 behind in the series, England flexed their batting muscles and as they posted a humongous score of 304 for 2 in 20 overs. Phil Salt and Jos Buttler set the tone with a blistering opening stand, dismantling the South African bowlers right from the start, with the opening pair adding 126 runs in just 47 balls. Salt went on to produce a career-defining knock, finishing unbeaten on 141 off 60 deliveries, the highest score by an England batter in T20Is and the 7th highest overall in men's T20Is. Bangladesh and Sri Lanka will face off in a crucial Asia Cup match in Abu Dhabi on Saturday. The game could decide which team advances to Super 4 stage, adding high stakes and tension. Back in July, Bangladesh made cricketing history, clawing back from a 0-1 deficit to clinch their maiden T20I series against Sri Lanka. The rivalry between these teams has long been more than scores and stats. Bangladesh began the Asia Cup 2025 campaign with a confident 7-wicket victory over Hong Kong to pick up 2 points. Sri Lanka will open their campaign today. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.